Hello and welcome. Today I want to show you how to set up a development environment for SharePoint Framework based solutions. For this we have to prepare our Office tenant and then we can install our local development environment. I will start to verify my Office tenant. We need a configured app catalog to host our own solutions because otherwise we are not able to test our apps. To verify if an app catalog already present, go to the Office Admin Center and I will open my Admin Center here. Then follow the link More Features and open the app catalog. In my case I have German installation. My point here called Weitere Funktionen is More Features. I will click on More Features and then we have the area Apps and I will click on the link Open, on the button Open. It's called Öffnen in German. In my case, app catalog is already configured. If not, the configuration process for an app catalog will start automatically. So in my case, I have already an app catalog. You see, I have already 2 installed apps. For testing purpose, it is recommended to create a separate site collection. In this new site collection, you can test your apps without any conflicts. And to create a site collection, go back to the SharePoint Admin Center and go under Websites. We have the point here is called Active Websites. Active Websites called in English Active Websites. Click on this link and then you can create here a new site collection just for development. So part 1 is finished. Now we can start to install all tools for our local development environment. We need to install a Node.js version, but we cannot just install the latest version. First we have to check the supported version that we can use for our app developing. Because the Node.js version is depending on the SharePoint framework that we will use. To determine the supported SharePoint framework, you have to check the first table on the Microsoft help page called SharePoint Framework Development Tools and Libraries Compatibility. To determine the supported SharePoint Framework version, you have to check the first table on this page. In the first column, you see a list of all currently supported SharePoint versions. In the next column, you see the supported framework solution version. For example, when you're developing apps for SharePoint Server Subscription Edition, then you have to use SharePoint Framework version 1.5 or lower. With this information, you can find the supported Node.js version in the table below on the same page. In the section SharePoint Framework Development Environment Compatibility, you have this table. And for example, version 1.5 need Node.js version 6 or 8. You will find this information in this table. You have here all the available SharePoint framework versions, and now we have to search for 1.5 and then you find here the information about the supported Node.js version. And also consider all other dependency to React, TypeScript and so on. Yeah, you see this in the other columns here, TypeScript and React. I want to prepare a development environment for SharePoint Online, and for this we can use the latest SharePoint framework version. Regarding the table, we need version 16 called Gallium for our Node.js. With this information we can go to the Node.js homepage and we can start download the supported Node.js version. And I switch to the Node.js homepage. And of course, on the start page, we have only the latest versions available. So we go to downloads and on the download page, we go to previous releases. And here in this table, we will find all previous releases. And for our development environment, we need this version 16 called Gallium, and we will find this version here. So then we can click on releases. We have a list of all the available downloads here, and then we can search for the right setup file for our operating system. In my case, I use Windows 11, so I choose this version. So download completed, and I choose directly File Open, and the setup assistant starts to install the Node.js version on my development environment. Of course, I accept all the agreements and I keep the default paths and I keep all the defaults here, and I skip this automatically installing, and then I click on install to install the Node.js version on my development environment. I accept all changes. Installation completed. So I click on finish. To verify the installation, we can open a command prompt, and I just open here in the command prompt, and we can type node --version, and then we see that the version is installed on this machine successfully. After the installation of nodes, we need a development environment, and for my development environment I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I go to the download page and choose download. Download starts and I choose file open, and I accept all the agreements, and I keep the default paths here, and I keep all the defaults here, and just install the development environment. And I don't want to start it immediately, so I just click finished. So we can start with our app developing. And for this I create a new folder, and I do it in a command prompt, and I run the command prompt as administrator. I go to the root and choose make directory solutions and go into the new folder, make directory for a new app, and go into the new folder and open the folder in Visual Studio Code. And of course I trust the author, and then I start a new terminal here inside Visual Studio Code. And then I need to install the necessary tools for our SharePoint framework developing, and at first I install gulp, npm install gulp-cli. I will stop the video in the meantime, and I will resume the video after the installation is completed. But now the installation is already completed, so we can install the next tool that we need. The next tool that we need for our developing environment is Yeoman. So installation is also completed, and in the next step I install the necessary generator to generate SharePoint framework solutions. And I have already prepared the command, and I just copy it here. So installation completed. The next step is to create our new app, and for this I use this command and encountered you the same error that I have here. Then you have to check the policies, and for this I open a PowerShell command. At first I check the policy with this command Get-ExecutionPolicy List, and you see everything is here undefined. That's why it's not possible to start the generator. So I set execution policy, and after this modification we can try to generate our SharePoint framework based solution project again. And now it's running. The generator is starting, and the assistant starts and asks some questions, and I will just keep the defaults for the demo. And I will build a web part here. So of course, it's Hello World web part, and I will use React as framework. And now you see the solution structure is created. After a while, the SharePoint framework based solution is successfully created. Our project structure is completed, and to test our app we have to change the serve JSON file in the surf.json file you will find the initial page, and in this initial page you have to enter your tenant domain. And here you should use your separated site collection that you have created before. And I just copy and paste my test site collection here. So at last step here, before we can start our app to test it in SharePoint, we have to trust the developing certificate. And for this I enter this command, trust-dev-cert. And then we have to trust the certificate here. So everything is finished. Then we can try out our new app with gulp-surf. And we will find our new Hello World web part here. And I can show it, and now it is working in the workbench. So that's all. The development environment is prepared, and now you can start to continue implementing your web part or to create new apps.